Welcome in everybody to this special edition of the VYPE Coaches Corner. As in one corner, you see Jeff Feller, the athletic director of St Pius X, and in another corner, you see the brand new head football coach of St Pius X football, Greg Cranfill from Wills Point ISD, Wills Point High School. Coach, welcome to H-Town. Houston, Texas is your new home. What's it like for you to be taking over the St Pius X program and coming to Houston?
Man, I don't think words could actually describe the way I feel right now, but humbled and honored are two that come to mind real quick. You're talking about one of the most historic programs in the state of Texas, a program that's got so much on the rise, and an administrative and staff that's running that school that understands the who, what, when, where, and why of what they do, and that's just completely exciting to me.
Over at Wills Point, you've had, 3 out of the last 4 years district championships. You were there for 6 years. You've been a head coach for 9 years in the public school realm. What can you take from your experience in the public school realm and getting those programs going that you've had and take that to St. Pius X, where really, they had 7 straight winning seasons. Last year was kind of a bit of a bump in the road, and now you're going to come in and try to get them back on the winning side of things.
Absolutely. I think the key for me is going in and creating a consistent culture, one that when a freshman or even an 8th grader or 7th grader, hopefully a 5th and 4th grader, look at the St. Pius athletic program, they're going to see a leader that's going to be there for the long haul and something that we can build on. It's exciting for me to come into a historic program like it is. And they had a down year last year, but I think that the pieces are in place to get right back up on that horse and take off into the sunset, so to speak. This program is destined for greatness, and that's what we hope to do through great leadership and through hard work.
And Jeff, I know for you, we talked about this a little bit. It was an interesting interview process. You did have 78 applicants, and Greg ends up being the guy for you. What was the selling point on Coach Cranfill to come to St. Pius X and you make him your next head football coach?
Yeah, well, I think he just touched on it. You make the best out of tough situations, right? That was from an intangible standpoint, but from a tangible standpoint, the guy's a proven head coach. He turns around programs. He's well versed in being a head coach, and it's not only for football, man. This guy's a head coach. He's been a head coach baseball, basketball. He's been an athletic director. So while this is a football coaching position, and we're going to get back to our great ways at St. Pius, Greg's going to be a true asset to not only the football program, the athletic department, and then the whole school. And I think that speaks beyond his skills of a coach, but just who he is as a person. And when you meet this guy, you just know. He talked about fit, and we are blessed to have him. As we kind of talked about, and a lot of the reason why I came to St. Pius, this being my first year, is the tradition. You can't put a number on tradition or a value on tradition. There's been so many great coaches that have been a part of St. Pius, great athletic directors and administrators, and we're just blessed that we can continue on this path. And, a little bump in the road, but no big deal. Let's get the right people on the bus and move forward. And we're honored to have Greg and to have his family.
What's it like for you, Coach? We've talked a lot about the history and tradition of St. Pius X. You walk through the halls, you look, there's Built Ford Tough Player of the Year award sitting in the trophy case. It's called Kubiak Stadium after Gary Kubiak, who played there. And you had former players like Grant Gunnell, who's now at the University of Arizona, will be their starting quarterback next year. What's it like coming into a program that's got the prestige like that and the history like that?
Yeah, I think one of the beliefs that we have in any program that I've ever been a part of is that we play for those who came before us, and we set the standard for those who follow. And I think there's a huge responsibility for each one of us moving forward to honor that tradition for all those great guys and girls that have been a part of that St. Pius program, And I think that's the key, is that we want to create, yes, I'm the head football coach, but we want to create a program in which every kid there feels like they can be successful, in which every kid there has fun. Because, guys, it's athletics. It's supposed to be fun. So we want it to be fun. We believe that winning is a byproduct of doing things the right way. And I'll tell you right now, Josh, that's why I'm so intrigued by this position, and was so intrigued by this position, because of guys like Coach Feller and Miss Armstead, who's running this program, Miss Larson, who's ran the high school, and Miss Ware, who's about to take over as high school principal. Those guys understand what leadership is all about. And it's not about what you say, it's about what you do. And I think from every head coach that I've met on staff and every assistant coach that I've had the joy of talking to, they all understand the responsibility that we have as coaches and teachers and leaders at St. Pius High School. And that's fun. That's fun, knowing that we can go in there and make a difference in these kids' lives, not only just athletically, but what they do in the future. And it's just an exciting time, you know.
In a normal world, you know, usually when a new head football coach comes in, you're officially introduced, and then it's kind of a whirlwind. You're on campus, you're meeting the kids, you're in front of the players. This is a different time. What's your plan moving forward now? I know this is still fresh, but what's your plan to kind of introduce yourself to the players that are there at St. Pius X and kind of start building those blocks of your program now when social distancing is a big key?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Josh, I know you've known Jeff for a year, but me following his leadership is the key, most likely to all the success that we have at our programs, just because of the fact that he's a guy that understands what it takes to be successful, and he's a guy that knows how to get things done, and I think that's important. We talk to our kids all the time. There are two types of people: those who talk about problems and those who fix problems. And I think Coach Jeff Feller is one of those guys that knows how to fix problems, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lean on him to help me guide this program, and that's exciting to me.
I guess for you, Jeff, just how excited are you once, you know, you can get Coach Cranfill fully on campus in front of the guys, start a first football practice? How excited are you for this new era of St. Pius X football that's going to start?
Man, I'm excited. I think it's really, for an athletic director, it's kind of an honor to have the opportunity to be able to hire a head football coach, right? Not everyone gets that opportunity, and I took that very seriously, and especially with the tradition of football at St. Pius. So first and foremost, that was what was great about it. So in doing that, my role is to, as I told Coach the other day, like, I want to set you up for success. And I think in terms of this communication so far going forward, we have a few things lined up. Once the announcement is made, we'll definitely have probably a formal Zoom call with all the players involved. After that, we'll most likely be able to, Coach will start calling the players to start building that connection. And then probably we're hoping, if we get back on campus in June, that we'll be able to do some formal events, kind of officially introducing him in person. So there is a plan in place. We just got to be flexible now, because with COVID-19, you don't really know what's going to happen. But I'm going to stay positive through this, and I'm all going forward. That June 1, we're going to start it up. The Cranfill era begins.
Yeah. I like that.
I think Josh, for both of us, I think the key is that we understand process, and this is all part of a process that's going to lead to great things. And through any process, there are going to be some rainy and cloudy days. Life is not full of sunshine and rainbows. But when we approach one of those cloudy or rainy days, that we've got a plan in place and we can handle it. And I think that's where we are. We don't flinch. I've been blessed to work with some great head coaches. I work with Brian Irwin, who won a couple state championships at Lamarck, who was my leader and one of my mentors, that was at Hillsborough with me, and then was at Flower Mound Marcus with me. I've worked for Terry Cron, who's won multiple state championships, and and a couple of those things that I picked up with those guys is that don't ever let the kids see concern in you, and always have a plan for everything. And that's what we do. I appreciate the fact that I've been blessed to be a part of such important people's lives and programs that I can gather that information. I've worked from the smallest level in the state of Texas to the largest level in the state of Texas. And what's unique about St. Pius is the fact that we can grab things from each one of those experiences and create a greater situation. Going into St. Pius, the thing that I realized is that there are some valued traditions at St. Pius, and I think it's my responsibility to embrace each one of those traditions. And there's a lot of great things that are happening at St. Pius, and my job is to keep promoting and helping those things get better. There are a couple things that we need to change, and that's okay. That's the part or a part of the process of me being the new head football coach. There's going to be change, but we feel like it's change for the better, and it's going to help those kids and teachers be more successful. I mean, as far as one of the key things that we talked about is how are we going to help the academic side in the classroom. And that's exciting to me that I'm working for and working with people that get it, that understand that the reason that we are doing what we're doing. Winning is awesome, but it's not our purpose. Our purpose is to take care of those kids and to give them an environment in which they feel safe and they feel loved, and then the winning will take care of itself.
I tell you what, Coach, if I had eligibility left, I would pull on a Pius uniform right now and run out the tunnel. Just letting you know, I'm ready.
Yeah, man. You could play whatever position you wanted to, man. We tell the kids all the time, those football pants don't have pockets on them. So it doesn't matter how much money anybody makes in that family. What matters is that what's in that chest cavity. And if you've got a heart and you show a great attitude and have a relentless effort, and you're passionate about what you do, you'll find a way to play. And if you look back at my stops along my 23-year path or career path, you'll find that's what we do. We find those kids that most other coaches would go, nah, he can't play. And that we find places for that kid to play. And that's what makes it exciting. Again, it goes back to we want people, when they leave St. Pius football, to go, that was fun. And I learned a bunch. But gosh darn it, we had fun. That way, when they're old and 46 years old like me, we still tell stories about our seniors and junior year in high school, So we just want to give them those great stories. That's what we want to do.
Well, the final thing before we let you go, Coach, in Texas, two of the biggest things is Texas high school football and barbecue. And
that's it.
Houston's got a lot of barbecue. How excited. I don't know. I'm just assuming you like barbecue, but yeah. Coming to Houston, absolutely. So just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, man. Here's the reality. Houston has so much to offer. I've got a loving wife, and I've been married for 16 years and a 10-year-old son. And I can't tell you how many conversations in the last 4 days I've gotten from a 10-year-old perspective. So, Dad, when we're in Houston, can we? And the answer is always yes. Because there's always things to do, and there's always great things about that city and all the surrounding areas around Houston. And I think it's a unique place. I lived in the Metroplex when I was coaching at Flowerman Marcus. I've lived in the rural areas when I was out here in Wills Point, or when I was in Itasca back at my hometown. And I think it's fun. I think God has a plan for every one of us. And right now, I think that's Greg Cranfill and his family moving to St. Pius and having some fun, doing some great things under the great leadership that I'm about to get to work under.
All right. Well, hey, guys, we appreciate the time. He is Jeff Feller, the athletic director of St. Pius X, and the other gentleman on the call is the brand new head football coach of St. Pius X, Greg Cranfill. Coach, we cannot wait to see you run out with the Panthers come fall. I'm trying to talk Jeff into some pyrotechnics, by the way, for your We're trying.
Hey, we take care of the people that take care of us. You remember I told you that, Josh. So when you see that care package sent to you, you're going to go, he wasn't joking with us. So
Perfect. Thanks, guys, and best luck, and can't wait to meet you in person, Coach.
Go Panthers.